Hello you lovely lot, and welcome back to my channel. And today it's time for another Etsy store review, and in this store I see a new problem, something that I haven't seen for a long time. I thought this was something that had been banished to the annals of history, but apparently not. There's a brand new problem in this store, so let's have a look at it. It's a print on demand store, loads of items in the store, low sales. What's going on here? What does this seller need to do to fix the problem? Let's get into this store and have a good look at it. Right, here we are then in the shop for Janelle, and remember, every shop review, shop critique that I do, I always ask the shop owners first, so always get permission before I do these. Okay, so let's have a look. What's going on here? Why isn't this seller making any sales? So first of all, a compassionate shop. The name, we're going to get to this in a minute. I want to spend a bit of time talking about the branding in this shop. Let's just remember this name, a compassionate shop. Now let's get into the problem. So straight away, no messing around, we get straight to the point here and find out what the issue is. So number one, how many items has the store got? 191. It's not a small store, it's not a big store either, but 191 items, fair few number of items. 6 sales. Okay, there's something seriously wrong when we get to 191 items with only 6 sales. So let's understand what's going on. When did they open? So what's the context of time? So if they had 191 items and 6 sales, but they opened a week ago, I'd be massively surprised if they had 6 sales after a week with that many listings loaded. But it wouldn't be as bad as finding out that the store itself has opened in 2023. So the store's been open at least June 2023, right? We got the review here at July 23. So it means that this store's been open sort of 9 months, 8, 9, 10 months with only 6 sales with 191 items. So what's going on inside this store to cause it so many problems? And the first problem is it's the same thing that affects so many print-on-demand sellers. It's an identity problem. So in this store, we've got mugs, we've got hoodies, we've got bags, we've got designs that are everywhere. We've got all sorts of different designs. Literally, there's so many different things going on in this store that appear to be completely random. And there's no cohesiveness. So we've got silly designs, we've got sort of Halloween designs, we've got Christmas designs, we've got, going into the t-shirt section, we've got things about animals. There's something about a raccoon here. We've got, what have we got? Holiday season. You can see the problem immediately with the cohesiveness and niche identity. This store desperately needs an identity. And I'll be honest with the store owner here and everyone watching this video, the seller here needs to close this store and open a brand new store with a set niche and sub-niche identity. So what's the store all about? Let me give you an example. Rather than having t-shirts and hoodies and tote bags and mugs, with all sorts of different designs on, let's drill into one niche, one set of sub-niches, and let's start with one product type. Okay, so for example, you choose t-shirts, and I say this all the time, the niche might be dogs and the sub-niching would be the top 10 breeds of dog in the United States. 60% of the customers on Etsy are in the United States. We've got to pay attention to what's going on in the United States. So that would be a great example of what to do. Let's give identity to the store. So first thing, no point in carrying on with this store. It's just so sluggish. It's been open since June, July last year, and it's only made 6 sales. So a new store, that's the first thing. Let's start right. Let's start the new store right. And remember, I said about branding, a compassionate shop. I don't know what this means. So when we look at it, we've got this sort of tarot card vibe. They've got the Lover's tarot card with a compassionate shop. This makes no sense at all to this. There is no brand connection, no cohesiveness, nothing going on here in terms of what's going on in the store and listings and the branding of the store. So when the seller, if the seller decides to take my advice and open up a new store, they need to focus on solid, consistent branding that works with what they're selling. So if someone did a dog store, and this is just for guidance, this is just so you understand, if you had a dog store, we'd want to see a banner with dogs and t-shirts and funny stuff to do with dogs, right? It makes sense for the brand. This is almost like a spiritual shop, isn't it? It's got this sort of spiritual sort of, thinking, compassionate, I mean, the whole wording and the whole setup of the branding is so confusing when you take into context what's going on here. So those are the two biggest problems in the store, the branding and the fact that there's no identity. But remember, I said that there was another new problem. I haven't seen this for a long time, actually. Probably 2 or 3 years was the last time that I saw somebody do this. And that is this. It's when you take a mock-up like this and you put your own design behind it to try to influence the branding, the aesthetic. This is a huge, huge mistake. Luckily, nobody really does it anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw this. But putting your own mock-up with the actual mock-up from the print-on-demand company, this is just confusing for customers. Hugely confusing, because when we go back and look at the store, some of these designs, look how busy this is. Putting these frames behind your mugs and your t-shirts not only doesn't help sell the product, it actually hinders and causes confusion for the buyers, for the customers. It makes it confusing. It makes you sort of look at the product and go, what's going on here? Why, what's with all the lines and the stars, and it's just confusing. Also frames, picture frames. So things like this, I know this is sort of a frame as well, but get rid of these picture frames. This is doing nothing but hurting your chances of selling. It looks so dated. This is the sort of thing that might have been going on in 2010, 2011, or maybe even older. It's so dated, this idea of using backgrounds, themes, borders to try and sell something. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it on brand, aesthetically correct for what you're selling, right? So if you're selling dog stuff, dog bowls, well, it's good to have the design on a bowl and have the bowl on the floor in a kitchen with some macro photography with the blurred background. Look at these here. Look at these sort of paint watercolor marks behind. Just really, really confuses people and stops you buying. Customers won't buy with all these additions going on. So try to use models. Models is a good idea, and try to get them aesthetically right for your brand. So if you're going to do whatever the niche is, don't just have models sort of standing there with a white background. At least attempt, like this isn't a bad design for Halloween. Obviously remove the frame, but that's not bad, for Halloween as an example. So we've got to raise the level of our photography and video and raise the level of the quality of our designs. And one of the first things you would do is removing these backgrounds. They just don't do anything at all. So the point here is this seller needs to open a new store, get all this information locked down, get the branding, the meaning, the niching, the sub-niching, the photography, use product video if possible. If you go into these listings here and look, there's no video at all. There's nothing with video. Video isn't easy for POD, but you can at least make a tasteful Canva slideshow that does something to improve the offering that you're giving, making that connection with the customers. That's what all this is about. This is all about connecting with your customers. Okay, so when the seller, if they decide to do what I'm saying, open a new store, they need to do it slowly. Just move the store to 100 items. I talk about all this time, or talk about this all the time with such good reason. List slowly, prove viability of your business. List 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 items, 1 item per day. By the time you head towards 100 items, you need to see some sales on the board. It's so important to make some sales as you move towards 100. If you're not making any sales, it's so simple. The customers don't like your designs. So this seller got a ton of work to do in this new store should they decide to do it. Let me break out of this now and give you my concluding thoughts. So as you can see, there's always interesting reasons why these Etsy stores are failing and they're selling. And this store, the answer is dramatic. They need a new store and they need to build and grow with all the information that I gave everybody in this video. Now, if you want a store review, as always, get into my comments, leave your store name, and I'll do a store review for as many of you as I can. I have to do other videos as well, but I'll try to do more store reviews. I've got one seat left for my workshop on March the 9th, this Saturday, one seat. If you want to join that, the link to join that workshop, which is at 5 p.m. EET, this Saturday, the 9th of March, get into my description and you'll find the link to purchase. If you want to know what the workshop's all about, there are videos on my channel about that. And if you want to work with me, don't wait, get into the description, click on the link and you can book a call with me and we can get fixing and upgrading your store today. I look forward to meeting you in the comments as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.